Hi guys, welcome back to Metienne vlogs. Today I'm coming to you with a very special video on how you can write the best curriculum vitae. This is a CV for your scholarship application. I'm talking about the best CV to get that fully funded scholarship or that opportunity that you are looking for in the job market or in the scholarship application. Would you like to know about this type of information? Stay tuned to this video and let's get these scholarships. So, how do you write that CV that will help you get that scholarship right away? I'm going to give you details of the content that is very, very important, some of the templates that you can use. This is just an idea, but before we do that, I'd like to highlight two things that are very important. One of them is that not all scholarships need you to upload a CV. Some of them actually provide a template where you just fill in the details. They tell you right here your name, right here your first school, your experience, So if you are applying for such kind of a scholarship, please do not waste your time uploading and making a CV because they will not consider your personal CV. They are only interested in what is filled into the template they provided. Secondly, if they need you to upload your own CV, make sure you do not pass 2 pages. This is because a CV is a summary of your work experience, your education, and your other details. So they don't want you writing 5 to 10 pages, something that will take them a long time. The ideal actually is just 1 page, but if you have more, maybe you have a lot of experience or some of these things don't fit on 1 page, try as much as possible and make it a maximum of 2 pages. So this is a particular format that I'm going to show you. It has worked for me before, but there are very many different formats. I'm going to highlight the content. It's most important, but if you want to get a particular style, maybe you can use this or any other style. There are so many of them available online. Just go search and then you'll find what works best for you. So the content is on the top. At the top, you try to introduce yourself. That is your contact details, a summary of you, your career and so forth. So you start with your name. You can write all your 3 names or your 2 names, it doesn't matter. And then your years and your marital status, if you're married or you're single. This marital status is not really necessary, but it's a good way, because if, for example, the CV does not want people who are married, then if you write here married, it definitely disqualifies you. But if you're single, then they are like, okay, we can consider this person because they can easily travel and so forth. Then, of course, you write here your email address and your address like your postal address, the address of your home, or contact details. In short, this part is your contact details and a little bit about you personally. Then on the right, you write your career, like what is standing out about you. Are you an accountant? Are you a cartographer? Are you a whatever? You highlight it so that it's in capital, in bold, it's easy to see. Then you write the number of years you've been working and months or the professional experience that you have. Even if you're a student, let's say you've just finished campus, still write here the number of months that you have done attachments, you've done internships and any kind of experience that you have done. Even if it's not in your profession, you can write down, because they usually want someone who's been at least exposed to the working environment. So don't shy off and say, I'm just graduating now, I don't have work experience. Write that which you have. If you did some part-time job somewhere, write here the number of years and the experience that you have. Then, of course, the organization. Then the softwares. If your career uses softwares or something that you do that highlights you in your career, for example. So you can write all of those. And software can be as simple as Microsoft Office. Of course, you know how to use Microsoft Office. This is Word. This is Excel, We have all these other things. Even if you do video editing or any other software you use in your career or in your personal life, make sure you highlight it at the top. So as you can see here, I have put my photo. But remember that it is not necessary for you to put a photo. Actually, in some countries, it is advisable that you do not put anything that shows your face or shows you in the CV, because it can be a way of making them to disqualify you or to discriminate against you. So be careful when you are making an application. Of course, if you are making an application, maybe they want someone from your particular country. For example, they want Kenya, or they want a female, or they've already categorically said that they are looking for a particular person, and you are sure that they're not going to discriminate on you, based on your photo. You can be free to put your photo. Yeah, so this is an additional part that you have to actually judge according to your situation. Is it necessary or not necessary? But it can highlight more about you. It can make your CV even more beautiful. And as you can see from the arrangement, it doesn't take any extra space. So that's why I like this particular format. So once you are done with your summary, like a little bit of your summary, you now go into the education. And as you can see, I have easily separated these two. So whoever is reading my CV knows we are done with the summary. We are going to the education now, okay? So education, you write the years. Of course, when you're going to the university or to a school, you enroll at a certain year and you finish at a certain year. So when you're writing the years, you start with the latest at the moment. What are you doing at the moment? Maybe assume from 2020 to now 2021, I am studying such and such a thing in these universities. So you highlight the title of the thing you're doing. If it's Bachelor of Science in something, then the university name, okay, and maybe the city. And then you go to the year before that. So you write backwards. Make sure you write backwards. You start from where you are at the moment and then going backwards. So like this is just an example. 2017 to 2019, 2010, then to 16 or 15. And then so you write all these things that you have done. By the way, even if you have done computer studies, you have done languages studies, you have done any vocational training, anything that is educational and you got a certificate out of it, whether it's a degree or just a certificate or a recognition and it was educational, make sure you do that, you write it here. But if you have you've done so many things, take the main ones so that you don't end up having 5 or 10 pages, okay? Once you're done with the education, you go to the next phase, which is the professional experience. So note, clearly separate them so that whoever is reading knows they can easily just go straight to your skills or straight to your professional experience, and they can easily see this is where this is ending and this is where another thing is starting. So for the professional experience, do the same thing with the years. Start with what was the most current experience you had going backwards. So this is just a summary, of course, I've written for you. If you have many more, feel free to add. If there are things that you've just done maybe 2 months, maybe you got an attachment for only 2 months, make sure you highlight the months here. Let's say May to August of this particular year, I did this. This year to this year, I did that. So make sure that it is following each other well, so that you are not jumping from 2017 to 2007 to 2020. No, make sure that you are following each other from the most current, going backwards. And remember, professional experience doesn't have to be big companies that you've worked with. Even that attachment you had, even that small 2 months job that your uncle gave you, maybe when you finished school and you're waiting for something to come up. If you don't have other more relevant experiences, write those ones because they do count. They show that you are exposed to working in a certain work environment and meeting people and so forth. The other section that is very important is the skills and languages section. So you can separate skills aside and languages aside, or you can put them together. So for this example, I've just put them together because I don't want to go beyond 1 page. I want to highlight to you just what is necessary in 1 page, okay? So some of them can be combined, like skills and languages. For example, you may have different skills, so many skills in your career, maybe in your personal life, but you have to consider what are you applying for. If you are applying for something that needs specific skills, highlight the skills that are relevant to that particular application. So you don't have to say, I have 20 skills, I'm going to fill all the 20 skills. No, just choose the ones that are relevant to what you are applying. That way you're able to go straight to the point without having to write so many things and wasting a lot of time. So here I did mapping skills and softwares, for example, because I was applying for something that is related to mapping. So you have to highlight, I've used this and this and this software, anything that is related to that software. And of course, you know that in your particular career, you can have different sets of skills, or rather softwares that can be separated. So you see, instead of me writing all these programming skills and mapping skills together, I can actually separate them. But if you have so many of them, you don't have to separate. You can actually just write mapping skills and software, then you combine this plus the programming skills. All right. So this is just giving you an example of how you can do it to be more organized. Then leadership skills as well. If you've been a leader in any way, maybe you've been a school prefect, maybe you've been given some responsibilities of some sort. Don't mind that it was a very small responsibility, who knows. No, just write that responsibility that you had, write it, because they're always looking for someone who is standing out. And if you were a team leader in something, or you were a class representative, or you did something that was important in a way, leading other people's or leading a certain project, make sure you highlight it. When it comes to languages, it's also very important, because then, especially when you're applying for something that you need to travel to a country that has a different language, they want to know that you have the capability of adjusting to that country. So highlight your level of that particular language and all the languages. Even if you won't need, say, Swahili in that country, you still write it, because it's showing them that this person is really, skilled in languages. And even if they are coming to this country, they can be able to learn the French in that country, the German in that country. Even if the level is beginner, you just write it so that they can use it to know that, okay, at least they have a certain amount of German in them. We can take her or him, and then he will be able to improve. So then we go to the hobbies. Hobbies are very, very important. Usually when you're making an application, they want someone who is all-rounded. You can be able to work, you can be able to interact with people, you can also have a balance of your own personal time where you do things out of your work or your school, okay? So highlight your hobbies here. You can maybe write things that are relevant to that application, or the things that you really enjoy, and be truthful. Make sure you write what is true, what you have done, and what you actually love doing. Last but not least, you go to the referees. This is a very, very important bit of a CV, because they may want to contact someone to actually confirm the things that you are writing. And this is the reason why I told you have to be truthful in the CV, because if they contact these people and the person says this is not the kind of person you are talking about, then that is a direct disqualification from that application. So with regards to the referees, try to spread them out as much as possible. Pick one from your university, maybe one from your workplace, then one from your maybe high school, or, just try to separate them as much as possible, so that if they approach someone who was in your high school, they can tell them a bit about you when you were in high school. If they approach someone at the university, they'll give them that bit of your life. And try to make sure that these people actually know you. Don't just write someone who doesn't know you and they will not say proper things or good things about you. And also, before you write down a referee, write them an email and tell them, hello, I want to put you as a referee in my CV. Could I go ahead to do it? Then when they give you a go ahead, at least they are aware that they may be contacted to be asked certain questions about you. So remember, make sure you write people who know you, ask them first before you write them, and spread it out so that it covers a good bit of your life. Yeah. So I hope this video was helpful. Please feel free to ask me questions. Like I said, this is a summary. Feel free to expand it, make it up to 2 pages. Don't go much beyond. And I wish you the very best in your applications. Thank you.